Hey, what's up you guys? You're watching Team APS. In today's video, I'm with Alec again, and we thought something fun to talk about would actually be, what are the 5 most horrible mirror matches?
Detestable.
Reprehensible.
Cancerous.
Mirror matches to play in Yu-Gi-Oh! Normally everybody talks about like a matchup they do or don't like, but no one really talks about the Ditto. But more importantly though, no one talks about those Dittos that are like impossible or painful or just stressful to play.
There might be, you might even call these physically painful mirror matches.
So, I think I'll kick this off.
Go
Actually, you know the most about this deck. Ghost Tricks. Yeah, you built this.
Okay, so we all know a little bit about Ghost Tricks. The idea is, you set your Ghost Tricks, you flip them, you get your effects, and you can play a deck in all kinds of different ways. But what do you do when your opponent is also playing Ghost Tricks?
Yeah, and see, aren't there a lot of their effects about, flipping their opponent's monsters down and keeping them face down?
Yep, that's one of the main strategies of the deck, is to permanently flip your opponent's monsters down. And the idea would be to, because if I remember correctly, Ghost Tricks can attack if your opponent doesn't have anything face up.
If they have the museum or
the
mansion
that's the
or
spell
whatever.
card lets you attack them directly if they don't have anything face up. So one of the ideas would be to get your opponent to somehow fill up their field and then lock them all permanent face down.
But if you have 2 Ghost Trick players, what happens when they use any of their mini effects to get all your monsters face down, but you've got all theirs face down, and neither player can switch their monsters' positions?
And they don't tribute summon in those decks.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, well... Go ahead.
It's one of those times where the duel's gonna take a very long time because neither Ghost Tricks don't have high attacks. The
damage is halved or something. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
They can't even get over each other's defenses. So
oh yeah, like Yangshi and stuff with 1800 would wall out almost all the rest
just
of them.
about all of them.
Not to mention, Ghost Tricks already have the negative rep of being the slow, stally deck.
They're already
with what is it, like Jack Frost and all those ones you like summon from the hand.
Yeah, the hand traps.
Battle Fader-esque. I see what that'd be bad.
Those are fun. I would not want to play that mirror.
The next one is Ritual Beasts. So this isn't, I think, a mirror match where it's the interactions between the players. I think it's just keeping up with everything.
That just sounds stressful. 'Cause, my brother plays Ritual Beasts. And it's just stressful just trying to play with him because you have to keep track of his cards as much as he has to keep track of his cards. And
yeah, this thing's been special summoned once and you can't summon it again, and this thing's been used this once per turn.
So keeping up with your resources and their resources, and then they have to keep track of their resources and your resources.
I feel like it'd be too much considering that both Ritual Beast monsters, or both players' Ritual Beast fusions, have the ability to uncontact during the opponent's turn. So in any given turn, you have the option to uncontact, but then so does your opponent. So like
it makes golly, you gotta be careful because some forming chains and mirrors can be disastrous.
Yeah, it actually
especially
really
in that game where if you detach and start the chain, that could be a problem. You want to maybe latch onto the chain already started,
and if you do it the wrong way, then remember that they'll get to resolve last, and sometimes that's a problem. Then there's Ritual Beast Steeds, which I imagine.
Power card.
Yeah, I imagine that would make a Ditto really complicated, just because it gets to pop a lot of stuff, and running away from it doesn't save you because it'll still get to pop the cards, and actually makes me confused just thinking about it.
And not to mention the way that deck wins, it just slow rolls you to death. It usually attacks once or twice a turn, and that's really it. And the monsters, they're decently strong, not all that strong. It's very easy for one Ritual Beast player to block all the attacks of another.
Wall out with Ulti Petalfin.
Yeah, and then on their turn they try and you block their attacks. So you just
and then Ulti Petalfin wouldn't be able to die from Steeds.
It just seems like who can keep their resources recurring for the longest.
It stresses me out thinking about it. What is the next deck?
Okay,
had for us today?
Let's go Kaiju. Now, this is a more popular mirror match, I imagine, because it's relevant in the game.
Well, it's really not even the Kaiju mirror, I guess. It's just people having lots of them.
That's true.
But I know that they have the restriction where you can only control one Kaiju monster. Isn't that how they work? I'm pretty sure, do we have a Kaiju on this floor of cards that the viewers can't see?
No.
I'll look it up. But either way, I know that you're going to be getting your monsters tributed a lot.
And that's dangerous in its own right. even if you're not talking about the mirror, just because just in a competitive environment, just about everybody has kaijus in their deck, 1 or 2, 3 or 4, whatever. Your monsters are not promised to you, especially in a kaiju matchup, and you have to take into account the actual kaiju counters and whatnot.
Oh, they do? Okay, so you can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field and attack this symmetric being a monster they control. If your opponent controls a kaiju monster, you can special summon this card from your hand to your side of the field, and you can only control one kaiju monster, and they all have that text. So, wouldn't that almost get to the point where, like, if you're playing a kaiju ditto, where you both use kaijus, you'll never really be able to get
I don't know how you win
out on the field? I don't know what the objective becomes.
Because kaiju are high level. You can't normal summon them as far as I know. So I'm not even sure how you start the game, much less finish the game.
Yeah, I said you'll never be able to get one on your field. I mean, you can get one on your opponent's field and then summon one to your field, but then it's going to get attributed. Huh?
Man.
I don't really know how that works, to be honest.
But speaking of decks where you can neither one of you can play.
Oh yeah, what's our next?
Psyframes.
Yeah, this is funny. I'm actually building this deck IRL. You can hate me later, but Psyframes I think actually is between it and the next one is definitely like tied for the number one, just like worst match you want to play.
You just don't want to deal with it.
Not kaiju, but Psyframes, they don't play. Okay, the goal with Psyframes is for me, like say I'm playing Psyframes, I don't want to do anything. I can't have monsters in the field to activate my effects, so I'm just gonna sit. You're playing Psyframes, so you're just gonna sit. So we're not gonna summon anything. They can't be normal summoned, the Psyframe monsters. We just chill and wait for someone to do something, but once you find out that I'm playing kaiju and I know that you're playing kaiju, there's no reason to commit. We're going to time. Like, what can you do?
I'll show you what happens. All right, my turn. So, I got my cards in my hand. I got my Psyframe cards. And, all right, my turn. Draw. Looks at the empty field. Looks back at my hand. All right, pass.
Yep. And then don't forget, like, the deck also plays, like, card D and, like, duality and all that stuff, like, max. So you just draw cards. I guess you wouldn't even want to play like card D because that might give your opponent the ability to activate like a gamma.
You don't want to start a chain in that matchup. You don't want to do it.
I feel like it's just like, where does it go? I think that's why when that deck started to get popular, people started taking Final Countdown. Because at least in the mirror match, you get assurance that if you just keep passing, you'll eventually win.
You better do something because this clock is ticking.
Very boring, but a more interesting but still just as toxic mirror match. And the one that probably deserves number one.
Oh my god.
Is, hey, you played this deck before.
I've played the mirror before.
Is Dark World. Is there?
No. And this one, all these matchups are stressful. But Dark World is especially stressful because you only help your opponent if you activate the discard effect.
Yeah, Dark Worlds, remember guys, for those of you just like hate Dark Worlds, hate playing against it, you have to remember, Dark Worlds, they can discard their own cards and get their own effects. But if they get discarded by an opponent's card effect, they get their normal effect and then an extra one. So like, take for example,
powerful extra effect.
Like Brow who lets you draw. Well, if your opponent made you discard it, you get to draw a second card. And they all kind of have something along those lines. Yeah. If you're both playing Dark World,
we do this
then you don't want to activate Dark World dealings. You are objectively helping your opponent more than you're helping yourself.
You play cards like Hand Destruction or Card Destruction. You cannot use them in that mirror.
Yeah,
it's not safe.
Yeah, you can't activate Dark World dealings. You can't you don't want to. There's just no good reason. And so what happens? I guess you sit, summon your Brow, and hit for like 1,000 or something. I don't know.
I played that matchup. I tried to strategically let my opponent draw but the issue was, you just never know what's gonna be in their hand. Because even if okay, this is the mirror. That 5 cards in their hand initially, you don't know what those are. You don't know if you've royally screwed yourself.
See, I think that the scariest thing about all of these dittos, especially this one, but all of them, is not knowing that you're going into the ditto. Because think about it. If you play Dark Worlds and you go first, you sit down across from your opponent. It's a tournament. You don't know what they're playing. You don't know who they are. And you're okay. I'm gonna start off by activating Dark World dealings, and I pitch my Snow to search. Oh shit! And then they pitch their Snow, and like when she's pitched, she searches, and then she gets like that reborn effect and all this stuff. So activating the first move hurts you no matter what. Like
it's so bad.
And the same goes for pretty much all of them, like side frames and all that stuff.
I mean, with side frames, what's it matter? You aren't gonna make a move anyway in your first turn.
Even if you activate your card guard, and they negate it, and then they get to start, and then they get to make Omega, and then you.
Yeah. Hey man, if they start making things, then you can chain.
Fair point. It's a good point. So
I just don't know that side frame matchup. Whew.
That's the 5 matchups or decks or dittos, whatever you would call them, that we think are probably just the most stressful, toxic, cancerous, other buzzword.
All kind of things. Bad,
reprehensible matchups that you don't want to play.
Don't do it.
But now we pass turn to you. That's so hard to use to say. It's so cheesy.
It came out weird.
Yeah, here's your chance to respond. Yeah. What other mirror matches do you hate playing? I'm sure they're playing like we left out here. They can either just be one that's confusing or one where like you can use your opponent's resources better than they can, kind of like Dark World or something. Okay. And why? Why do you hate that mirror match? What's so bad about it? Leave it in the comments. We want to know.
Yeah, tell us about it.
But I think that's going to conclude the discussion. Remember to follow us on social media. Thumbs if you liked it, subs if you loved it.
And remember to sub if you didn't like it.
Yeah, do that too. Why not?
Yeah.
Without further ado, in my turn. Hey, what's up, you guys?
Okay, I'll do it.